So, recently I got my first ever smartphone, the Samsung Galaxy A41. I have been using it for a few days now. I am now making a review on it, so you guys know if it's a good phone or not. So, this phone, the Samsung Galaxy A41, cost me £220 in the UK. The cost will vary across regions, but it's around £200 to £300. First of all, let's talk about the screen. Um, it's it's 6.1 inches and it's an AMOLED display, and like it's so good. It's amazing. It's the perfect size for me, and it's quite comfy in my hands as well. Like the structure of it. The screen can get extremely bright. Like, let me give you an example. Look at right now. This is very low brightness. Look at that. Yeah, extremely bright. The camera can't even focus because of how bright it was. It can get very bright if you choose it, but I normally stick to the lower brightness, under halfway. There is also an in-display fingerprint scanner, which is actually quite reliable. So you can just, and it opens. And there's also face unlock, so if I just do this, yep, there. And if you prefer that, you can put that on. But I set them both, so you can do that too. Now, this is a very strong suit for the phone. The display is amazing, so yeah. But now let's talk about the cameras. Normally, when you think about a camera on a budget phone, you're probably like, oh, it's going to be very undetailed. It's going to be bad. But this phone, it actually shocked me. It has really high quality cameras. There's a selfie cam. That's the selfie cam. There's a main 48 megapixel lens, 8 megapixel ultra wide, and there's a depth sensor as well. And I will put the photos on the screen that I have taken for you. And I have to say, like, I'm actually really impressed. The live focus, which is basically the portrait mode, is really good. You can clearly see the background is blurred and the foreground is really clear, and the ultra wide is very wide and can fit enormous subjects into frame. So like, I'll put up the picture. Today I was testing the phone's camera. I went to this place. It's like a really popular park that a lot of people go to, and I was wearing a mask, and there are quite a lot of people there, but yeah, remember to stay safe because of COVID. And yeah, I couldn't fit it all in the main camera, so I used the ultra wide, and it actually looked amazing. I'll put the picture up, but yeah, it's so good. And overall, me and my family, we were really impressed by the camera. So yeah, but there's only one tiny problem. It has no night mode. That it's not really a problem for me because I don't really take photos in the dark, but photos in the night are mediocre at best. There's quite a bit of noise and there isn't much detail. Like, I'll put up a photo that I took in this park. But yeah, there is quite a bit of like noise and there isn't much detail. But yeah, it doesn't really matter for me because I don't really take photos in the dark. I'm normally sleeping in the dark, so yeah. But yeah, so overall, the camera is great, except from the night mode, or the lack of a night mode. You can choose if that matters to you. Okay, so now let's talk about the speed. I was actually really astonished by the speed because, like, yeah, it's not the fastest phone by any means, but especially for a budget phone, it gets the job done. You can play any game, however graphically intense, with little to no lag. Like, let me just open Instagram. Look how fast it loaded up that, and you can see Austin Evans. So yeah, it like, look at Spotify. It actually loads up quite fast. Look, it's not. I'm not saying it's the fastest, but it's definitely like really usable. It's quite good. I'm opening Google Files. Look how quick that was. I'll even show you a game. This is the only game I have on it. Yeah, because it's the only game that I really enjoy. But yeah, it's Shadow Fight 2, and it's quite playable, actually. Like, little to no lag. So, yeah, you can play, like, any game, however graphically intense, with little to no lag. Okay, so now we've looked at most of the front of the phone. Let's look at the back of the phone. So, the back of the phone has, like, a cool pattern on it. Can you guys see that? And it's quite, like, can you see, like, the prisms and all of that? It's quite cool. I don't know if you guys can see on the camera, but yeah. This phone comes in Prism Crush Black, Prism Crush White, or Prism Crush Blue. So basically just black, white, and blue. And yeah, as you can see, I got black. There is also a small camera module, as you know, the 3 cameras I talked about before. This one, my camera won't get into focus. The small camera module houses the 3 cameras I talked about earlier. The only bad thing I would say about the back is that it's super glossy plastic, which means it's like a fingerprint magnet, as people say. Look at how many fingerprints there are. This isn't dust. This is, I wipe it every day. I wiped it before the video. I hold it a bit. Look how many fingerprints are on there. But the thing is, this doesn't really matter because most people will put a case on the phone anyway. I've ordered a case actually, but it hasn't arrived yet. But yeah, most people put a case on it anyway, so it doesn't matter if it's glossy or not. So now let's talk about these buttons. You guys, my camera's actually quite trash, but yeah. So both the volume rocker and power button are on the right side of the phone, which I like because they're accessible, and the phone charges via USB-C, as you can see, or maybe you can't see, and it actually charges quite fast. And the battery is great for me. I don't use my phone much. If you go on my screen time, it's maximum 2 hours a day, maximum. So yeah, I don't use it much, but for me it's great. But yeah, and the charging is quite fast too, so just in case you do run out, which is very unlikely, then you can charge it quick. And there's actually a headphone jack as well, as you might have seen. There's a headphone jack, and yeah, it's quite cool because like I don't I only have one pair of wireless earphones, and they're not that good. But yeah, let's talk about the speakers now. They're mono, so there's not 2 of them. It's not stereo, it's just mono. And thing is, the speakers on the phone aren't the greatest sounding or the loudest, but they're good enough for watching content and listening to music if you're not too picky. I have noticed that the sound distorts like a tiny bit when you put the volume on max, but you can barely notice it. So, overall, this phone is a really good phone with great value to buy for yourself or for a child. Thank you for watching my review. I hope you have made the decision on buying the phone or not. I'll see you guys next time.